Welcome to Japanese Made Easy, where we use advanced techniques like pattern recognition and contextual learning so you can quickly and easily start speaking Japanese.
Hi, Greg here. Welcome to episode 14. In this episode, we'll be learning a new counter and a need-to-know usage of a common particle. I've been intentionally avoiding some of the absolute beginner-level polite Japanese, as my hope is to have you making progress in other areas. But we do need to know the casual word for is or to be in Japanese. I assume you are comfortable with or have at least heard of simple sentences such as, "It's a cat."
猫ですよ。
We'll go with the yo ending for these next examples. Your large dog has a lion's mane haircut, which causes a panic at the dog park. You reassure everybody saying, "It's a dog."
犬ですよ。
You bought a new high-tech futuristic-looking appliance. Tell somebody, "It's a coffee maker."
コーヒーメーカーですよ。
And finally, some kids are learning countries and point to one on a map. Tell them, "It's Japan."
日本ですよ。
Okay, so easy enough, and with that, let's switch to the casual version. You will know these famous car makers, but listen to how they are pronounced in Japanese.
日産、日産、
In English, we say Nissan.
松田、松田、
In English, we'd say Mazda.
トヨタ、トヨタ、
Of course, Toyota. Let's hear those one more time in Japanese only.
日産、松田、トヨタ。
The type of car you bought isn't clear just by looking at it. Tell a friend in casual Japanese, "It's a Nissan."
日産だよ。
Try saying, "It's a Mazda."
松田だよ。
"It's a Toyota."
トヨタだよ。
Drinking something red in color. Tell a family member, "It's tomato juice."
トマトジュースだよ。
Moving on, I want to cover a common usage of the no particle. First, a quick review of the possessive no that we all learn early on in Japanese. Riku and Sora are roommates in college, and Sora has always used a Windows laptop. But today, Sora is using what appears to be a used laptop with a big bright Apple logo on it. So Riku asks,
誰の Mac?
and Sora explains all about borrowing the Mac laptop from a friend. Anyway, how would you translate
誰の Mac?
that one is simple, literally just who, then the particle no for possession, and Mac. In other words, whose Mac? How might Sora answer, "It's a friend's"?
友達のよ。
There's some pizza on the table. As you pick up a slice and take a big bite, you ask, "Whose pizza?"
誰のピザ？
With that, let's focus on a new usage of no. First, and speaking of pizza, these two popular chains can be found in most large cities in Japan.
ドミノ。ドミノ。
That's the one that had the 30 minutes or less guarantee. And then this one, I guess the pizza is made in a hut?
ピザハット。ピザハット。
There isn't a hut sound in Japanese, so they're going with ha.
ピザハット。
With that, if there were pizza on the table and a person asks this question,
どこのピザ？
and the answer,
ドミノだよ。
Domino's is. What was the person asking? Keep in mind, languages are not direct translations of each other, so the phrasing in Japanese and in English may be completely different for the same idea.
どこのピザ?
We heard where, then no, and pizza. This time a person answers,
ピザハットだよ。
in natural English we might answer, it's Pizza Hut, or maybe it's Pizza Hut pizza, or even it's from Pizza Hut. Again, those are possible translations of the basic idea that's being communicated. Let's do just one more. We've all watched some
アニメ
at one time or another, so let's use that to further work with the idea. Riku walks in and Sora is watching some anime. Something about it is different from the usual Japanese-style anime Sora watches, and the characters aren't speaking Japanese. So, Riku asks,
どこのアニメ?
Sora replies,
アメリカのだよ。
so in the question we have doko, and in the answer we hear the name of a country. Had this all been in English, where no pizza? Domino's is. Where no pizza? Pizza Hut is. Where no anime? America no is. So let's plug in the SLT or super literal translation for this usage of no. Where from or of a place, pizza? And the answer, Domino's from or of is. The question, where from or of a place, pizza? And the answer, Pizza Hut from or of is. Question, where from or of anime? The answer, America from or of is. So remember this usage of no as from or of a place. I'll stick with partial English to further make the point. French wine, that is, wine that is from or of France, would be phrased
フランスのワイン
using the cognate for cheese, which is just,
チーズ
how would you say Italian cheese?
イタリアのチーズ
In casual Japanese, say, it's Italian cheese.
イタリアのチーズだよ
Try saying, it's Japanese anime.
日本のアニメだよ。
Remember the SLT, Japan, from or of anime. Ask a friend, whose pizza is this?
誰のピザ?
Ask, where is it from? Or more literally, where from or of pizza?
どこのピザ?
Answer simply, it's Domino's.
ドミノだよ
You're at a restaurant in California that is famous for having authentic Japanese sushi. The sushi they served has avocado in it. You lean over and whisper to your friend,
日本の寿司
how would you translate that into natural English? A lot is implied here, but naturally this would have been, is this Japanese sushi? Okay, let's get a new counter. I mentioned donuts earlier, so let's start with those. See if you can get the gist of this conversation without too much help. At an English conversation school one morning in Japan, a teacher brought a box of donuts to work for the other teachers to share. Dan comes in late and sees the large but empty box. Another teacher, we'll call him Roger, has chocolate all over his face and little sprinkles on his shirt. Dan asks Roger,
何個食べたの?
Holding up one finger and looking guilty, Roger lies and answers.
1個.
Later, Dan overhears Emmy talking about how good the donuts were, and Dan asks her the following question. It's understood that we're talking about the donuts, so starting with, regarding Roger,
ロジャーは何個食べた?
Emmy isn't sure exactly how many he ate, but it was definitely more than one, so she speculates,
3個食べた かな。
We'll break this all down when we come back, but for now, let that sink in and let's take a break.
And now here's your tip of the day from Japanese Made Easy.
I want to talk about counters a bit and how best to approach them, as well as any other general area of study in a new language. To improve your speaking sooner rather than later, it's best to learn and get very comfortable with single usages one at a time, instead of trying to remember rules for all usages at once. For example, each particle has many usages. Get good at using one of the particle usages at a time when speaking, instead of trying to remember a ton of rules for a lot of particle usages. Learn to use each verb and its endings one at a time, instead of trying to remember broad categories, such as this is a type 1 verb or this is a type 2 verb. Native Japanese speakers have no idea what that means. That's how adults organize knowledge for the sake of study, but not how fluency is attained. And so it goes for counters. Basically, there are a handful of them that you'll be using often, and each one might have small pronunciation differences. But as we've been doing, we just want to get really good at using it when we speak, and not thinking we learned it just because we read the rules in a book or watched some clickbait YouTube video claiming, "Learn all Japanese counters in 2 minutes," or "Learn all Japanese particles in 30 seconds." We really need to redefine the word learn in that case. That kind of thing is okay for an overview of the topic, but is of little use when it comes to conversation time. So, as I mentioned before, particles and counters are really not a big deal. They only seem to be when your first exposure is to the entire topic all at once. A quick concept review and we'll continue. In the last episode, when talking about how many people were at a party, we heard
何人いた？
literally what number of people existed, or how many people were there. And then the answer,
7人いたよ。
7 number of people existed. 7 people were there, or there were 7 people. With that in mind, let's listen to the donut conversation one more time. Already understood is that we are talking about donuts as they stand over the empty donut box. Dan asked Roger.
何個食べたの？
So there we heard nan, or what, then ko, and then
食べた？
which is 8. He was holding up one finger, and the reply,
1個。
and the I that we are hearing is from the number 1, or ichi, and again, ko, which we'll get to. Let's listen to the next section. Dan asked Emmy about Roger and the donuts.
ロジャーは何個食べた？
Literally, regarding Roger, what ko ate? Emmy speculates.
3個食べたかな。
Literally, 3 ko ate. And kana. This kana is kind of expressing uncertainty, like he ate 3, I guess, or he ate 3, I suppose. With that, you probably determine that the new counter here is ko. Just listen to the following answers in Japanese and see if you can get a feel for what it represents. Let's think about what the following food items have in common. Asking somebody, how many
トマト、
did you buy? And the response,
1個。
how many
オレンジ、
did you buy? And the response,
2個。
how about
ドーナツ、
how many did you buy? And the response,
3個。
so what do these all have in common so far? Yes, they are food, but what else? Ponder that and let's add to the type of things we can count using ko. How many square 9-volt batteries did you buy?
4個買った。4個買った。
So if you don't know the last word you heard there,
買った、
perhaps you can make an educated guess. That is, we know verbs come at the end of sentences, and we've heard things like,
飲んだ、見た、食べた。
and now,
買った、買った、
which isn't exactly the same as the others, but has this similar ta ending. So that's a bit of listening comprehension advice. You may not know the verb, but you can at least know that it was a verb and can perhaps guess the meaning based on the situation. So with that, let's get the meaning with more context.
買う、買う、
With credit card in hand, Bill went to the store saying he wants to
買う、
some new shoes. Then, recalling that all his socks have holes in them, he thought, I guess I'll
買う、
some new socks too. So we say buy. In Japanese, it's
買う、
so back to our counter. We've heard tomatoes, oranges, and square 9-volt batteries being counted with ko. What do those have in common? Let's keep going. Masaharu plays golf but is low on golf balls. He sees an ad for a golf ball sale at the local sporting goods shop and heads out. When he comes back, putting the words golf
ゴルフ、
and ball
ボール、
together, somebody asks,
ゴルフボールは何個買った？ゴルフボールは何個買った？
one more time, and notice the pattern here. A person is asking a question about something, starting with regarding the something. In this case, golf balls, or
ゴルフボール、ゴルフボールは
regarding golf balls,
何個買った？
what number of them bought. Semi-naturally, golf balls wa, how many did you buy? And very naturally, how many golf balls did you buy? Basically, the counter ko is used for small, roundish, or clunky-shaped objects that are about the size of something that can be held in one hand. If something is clearly long, like a banana or bottle, or clearly flat, like a thin chocolate bar or piece of paper, we'll use different counters. So things like tomatoes, oranges, a square battery, a small toy car, a coffee mug, a computer mouse, all of these things would likely be counted using ko. That being said, don't overthink this as in, how will I judge what is what, as there are so many possible objects? It only seems difficult if looking at the big picture, but in taking them one by one, it will be easy and will become instinctive. Okay, casual. Ask somebody regarding oranges, how many did you buy?
オレンジは何個買った？
We understand now that we are discussing oranges, so no need to repeat that part. Tell them, I bought one.
1個買ったよ。
Notice that it's not iko, but kind of skips a beat.
1個、
Let's change that to polite. Repeat after our native speaker.
オレンジは何個買いましたか？
Try saying, I bought one.
1個買いました。
Okay, casual. Ask, how many tomatoes did you buy?
トマトは何個買った？
Answer, I bought two.
2個買ったよ。
Let's change the question and answer in polite Japanese.
トマトは何個買いましたか？
I bought two.
2個買いました。
Okay, let's change it up again. Casual Japanese. This time ask, how many donuts did you eat?
ドーナツは何個食べたの？
We all know Roger, so he probably ate 6. But he would say, I ate 3.
3個食べたよ。
You've been working on your tennis game recently and decide to challenge your friend Serena to a match. You have rackets but seem to be short on tennis balls. How would you translate Serena's question?
ボールは何個ある？
Literally, ball or tennis balls. What number of exist? More naturally, how many tennis balls are there? Uncertain, you answer
6個かな。
6, I guess, or I suppose. Try asking somebody in casual Japanese, how many cookies are there?
クッキーは何個ある？
Answer 8, I guess, or I suppose.
8個あるかな。
Polite Japanese, starting with regarding sushi, ask somebody, how many pieces of sushi did you eat?
寿司は何個食べましたか？
Try saying, I ate 10.
10個食べました。
Okay, an easy cognate. This fruit is green on the inside with little black seeds.
キウイ、キウイ、
A family member comes home from the store and says,
キウイ買ったよ。
I bought kiwis. Don't use the word buy and don't use the word kiwi. Simply ask, how many?
何個？
Same thing, but talking about the number of people at a party, ask, how many?
何人？
Polite Japanese, starting with the word kiwi, ask, how many kiwis did you eat?
キウイは何個食べましたか？
Still polite, answer, I ate 2.
2個食べました。
Still polite, ask, how many people were there?
何人いましたか？
Answer, there were 5 people.
5人いました。
All right, we've covered a lot, so give the practice exercise audio a few listens and make sure everything is solid up to this point. And I'll see you in the next episode.
This has been another episode of Japanese Made Easy. For additional practice audios and downloads, visit JapaneseMadeEasy.com.